Everyone, welcome back to my channel, and this is part 9 where we are going to cover a very important topic which is related to our rerank. So we are going to understand what is rerank, why do we need a rerank whenever we are going to use our rank to just make our AI agent based or AI application more intelligent. This is really a very important topic to cover, right? So before we try to understand what is rerank, first we have to understand what kind of limitation currently we have with our application. Now, by now you understand that whenever we ask a question, we have to create a context, right? And we are using a retriever for that. What retriever does, it takes the question, go to the vector database and try to retrieve the data based on the vector similarity score. And whatever score matches, with the vector similarity for our question, it is going to be written based on the sorting order. The maximum score will return as the first and then second and then the third one. This is how it happens. It just compare the vector similarity or vector score. And that is where the problem actually arises. And to mainly to help to overcome with this, the re-rank related model comes into the picture where we have to use the re-rank model along with the vector scoring similarity based searches for our context, right? So what kind of problem? So majorly we have three problems: shallow semantic matches, loss of contextual relevance, and missing user intent. So these are the three problems which we have with the whenever we use a vector similarity score to just get the context and just feed into the LLM. Now, just try to understand this one simple example, right? Vector search may retrieve text that uses a similar word or the concept that doesn't actually answer the user question, right? So we ask the question and we know what our intent is or what the context is. But usually in vector similarity search, what it does is at a high level, it just extract the words, calculate the score, and whatever the score it gets matches with the query, it just return that. It doesn't do anything else apart from that. We can understand this with example. How can I lower my blood pressure naturally? Retrieve check. Blood pressure monitors are used to track daily changes and help patient maintain health awareness, right? So issue, what is the issue with this, right? This check contains the word blood pressure and health, but doesn't actually address how to lower blood pressure. It's shallow matches, semantically similar, but contextually useless for the question, which makes sense. Similarly, for the second, loss of contextual relevance. Vector similarity doesn't always respect query context or user intention, especially in the follow-up question. We can understand. The first one we ask, okay, tell me about the electric. The follow-up question is what about battery degradation, right? So we have a follow-up question. This is the next question. Retrieve chunk for the second question is, it is only considering, the second one. Battery recycling is becoming an important area of research to reduce electronic waste, right? So the retrieve passage talks about recycling, not a battery degradation over the time, which is what the user meaning in the follow. The system loses the context, right? So this is the second problem. Third one is user intent. Again, we can just understand like best practices for onboarding a remote employees. Remote work policies vary by company. So what is happening here? It is just having a very high level, score calculation for question and the question which we are asking. The user is looking for an onboarding step, but this time talks about the company policy, which doesn't help. The intent onboarding guidance is missed intent. So these are three major problems where we need to use a rerank. So what rerank does is, rather than just getting, the output of the vector similarity score based, responses, it just goes deeper than that. It's try to just, not only get the context, it does a lot of intelligence thing behind the scene, and there are a lot of models which is actually designed for that, like cohere, BG, OpenAI related custom cross-encoder, right? So let me just quickly show you the application where I was just trying to play with this rerank model, right? So what I did is I just tried to use this BG re-ranker V2M3. This is the open source one, and you can just read down. Re-ranking models are designed to provide superior accuracy over the retriever models, but are much slower. So the model should not be used with more than a few hundred documents. This is just a thing like, I mean, if you have hundreds of documents, then you should not use it. Rather, what you can do first, you can use the vector similarity, where you can just reduce down that numbers to in a in a limit which these models can easily handle. So this is really something related to the performance which we should not be worried about for now, right? So what we're gonna do, due to the slowness of re-ranker, we recommend using two stages, the retrieval system. First, we are just going to extract a smaller number of documents from a larger database with the vector similarity, and that information we are going to feed into the re-rank model so that we can just get the precise response, right? Let me just show you what the current state of the application. Okay, so this is okay. So now ask questions, right? When I ask the question, this is the response which I am getting, right? But here, if you just see the code for this, what I have written is I am actually asking, in vector similarity, I am extracting 10 records, whereas through the re-rank model, I am extracting the 3, right? So if you just see the server, this is what the vector similarity gave us, right? Where we have all those 3 problems which I just mentioned: shallow semantic search, user intent is missing, and the other one is shallow semantic matches, loss of contextual relevance, and the user intent, right? So now we have only these 3, and now we are relying on this re-rank models, which is having all those intelligence where it is just trying to overcome with all these problems. And now we are getting precisely the same context, which is cover not only, the semantic matching, but it consider the contextual information as well as the user intent, right? So what happens is by implementing this feature, we can have a more accurate answer, right? So similarly, if I just go back to the PPT, okay, so what re-ranking model or what re-ranking process is going to help us improve the question answer accuracy, better relevance, help not only, just to consider vector similarity, but, adding a relevant, context as well. So this is going to make not only our application more intelligent, but more accurate as well, right? So I hope you understand that, what we have covered from the theory perspective. In our next video, we are going to see this re-rank implementation in action, where I'm going to explain step by step each and every line of code how you can implement the re-ranking model along with the vector similarity, which we are going to retrieve at the first stage. In the second stage, we are going to use a re-rank model to precisely or to make our context more accurate, more efficient, not having any limitation which vector similarity poses to us. So that's it from my side. And if you really like this video, give a thumbs up, and please feel free to just share this video with your friends, colleagues, whosoever you feel like this kind of video can help. Thanks for watching this. And as always, stay healthy and keep learning. Thanks.